Cervi is on the stage with us here. Sherry, try that microphone out right there. Y'all give her a hand. She's here. 17-time National Finals qualifier. So how's it going?
It's going good.
I'm sure you're busy.
Oh, it's not too bad.
Not too bad?
Nope.
Good, good. Talk about, I've got so much stuff I want to visit with you about, but I know you got a busy schedule and all that, but you've already won money. Talk about how important that is in these first couple of rounds, confidence, and I know your horse can feel it. You know, tell us a little bit about that.
Definitely anytime you can come here and the first 2 rounds get money, it's good. The competition's really tough, and so, you know, there's so much money to be won here, and you want to concentrate on that, and it kind of sometimes can get overwhelming.
Right, sure.
But you got to stay focused and one night at a time, and just glad to be here.
Yeah, I imagine so. I think a lot of people just expect you to make the NFR every single year and maybe take that for granted, you know, and you see a lot of cowboys and cowgirls that, you know, you see them all the time and then one may not make it, you know, and we just expect you to be here, but it's not an easy deal to make this. And talk about, you know, your year, you know, as far as going down the road all year long.
You know, definitely you don't want to take for granted being here at the NFR. It took more money this year in the barrel racing to make it than it ever has, and competition is just getting tougher and tougher. And so I'm very grateful to be here and be competing. My horse has been working really good, and you know, had a pretty good year. And it's kind of hard to, after having a year like I did last year, to duplicate that. And so I mean, I feel very fortunate to be here, and that it's been a really good year.
Right. Speaking of a good year, did I hear you just recently got married? Is that right?
Yep, I did. Corey Petska and I got married in September, and apparently we did a really good job keeping it secret.
I know. Some people I think I heard maybe it happened out here like 2 days ago and this and that, but then somebody maybe mentioned that it had been a little while, so congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I guess you watch the team roping now.
Yeah.
You probably already always have, but that's really good. Talk about your horses for us, and some of your horses in the past that are as popular as some of the other people in the events here. You know, talk about your horses for us.
I'm riding Stingray. She's 12. My parents raised her. She's just a really special horse. Loves running barrels. It doesn't matter what size arena she runs in. She usually does, you know, pretty good and tries really hard. And she is related to Hawk, who I rode in the 90s and won a world championship on. And, you know, they have similar, you know, style running. But, and I had a gray horse I rode, and his name was Troubles. And then a bay horse named Tin Man. And then Dinero. And Dinero is Stingray's dad.
I see.
And all those horses I just named, we have mares bred like that. And are crossing them on Dinero, and so it's just, you know, really fun to do the breeding and be able to be successful and see other people be successful on them.
Sure, absolutely. And you're training these horses yourself, is that right?
Trying.
Right, sure. I think you're doing a pretty good job of it. So that's really cool. Talk about a little bit. We had Michelle McLeod and Trula was on stage a little bit, and Kaylee was up here, and I'm going to ask you kind of some of the same questions, but talk about that feeling. You know, it's really kind of the only event that I can think of that you come from the darkness in the back into the lights and the crowd. And what's that feeling, or how's that affect horses and that kind of deal as far as a horsemanship standpoint?
You know, I think most horses, once they get here, have been in different situations, so they're used to being in front of a crowd. But there's definitely nothing like running down the alleyway of the Thomas and Mack. There's so much adrenaline in the air, and the crowd is awesome. And so, you know, we can't see that, but you can hear,
you can feel it,
and feel it definitely. And so, it's just, you know, it was something I dreamed about when I was a little girl, being able to compete here and being able to come back. You know, a couple times is pretty cool.
Sure, absolutely. You've been here, you know, 17 times, I do believe. Each year, do you learn something from the year before, maybe something you'd want to do a little different, or maybe your routine before the rodeo? Tell us about that. Does anything ever change for you as far as your, you know, getting ready or anything like that?
No, definitely. You know, I think over the years you do learn kind of what works for you the best in your routine. And the most important thing for me is keeping my horse as comfortable and as feeling good as I can.
Right.
I have great help here.
Right, sure.
You know, that people are taking care of her, and they bring her into the arena for me, and where I can be able to sign autographs and do some of the other obligations that I have to you know, fulfill. But that is the thing, is that, you know, with experience, I hope that I'm a little bit more experienced. I'm a little disappointed in myself after last night,
Right,
but
sure.
I will learn from that, and it won't happen again.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was talking to the other gals as well. And they mentioned, you know, back there are some TVs, and you kind of tell maybe what's going on. But I believe it was Michelle. She said that maybe she really didn't like to know what was going on, and the others, you know, they were talking about their barrel racing fans. They want to see what you're doing, you know, and just they want to see it happen. But do you kind of keep up what's going on, you know, with the gals right in front of you or anything like that?
Not so much with the girls in front of me, but when I get through running, you know, there is a TV back there, and kind of watch and see what's going on, and you know, definitely, you know, want to know, especially if you're placing.
Right, sure.
You
Absolutely.
pay a little bit more attention to what's going on.
Very cool. Talk about the ground a little bit. It's you know, being first out or last out or in the middle, and then even this year it seems like there's, you know, been some struggles with the ground, but tell us a little bit about that.
I really feel that last night they got it figured out,
Right.
and they did a good job working it. And, you know, it's tough coming in and, you know, trying to keep the ground consistent.
Sure.
And it was not
Right.
the first 2 rounds, but I do feel that they're trying.
Right,
and,
sure.
It was a lot better last night.
What makes the difference, you know, which team ropers and calf ropers and bull riders, you know, it doesn't really matter, but if it's not consistent, what makes it not consistent, or if that makes sense, or what makes it hard to run in?
Well, normally, you know, if you're first out or you're 15th out, that can kind of
Right.
determine, especially when you're, you know, a couple hundredths can
Right.
determine whether you place or not. Normally here, they do keep the ground stays consistent, where you have a chance to win if you're at the bottom of the ground. It was a little different at the beginning because it was a little bit slicker.
Right.
And there was sand on the top, and we were going through that sand and going to a hard pan, and so
I
your
see.
horses couldn't get a hold of the ground.
Sure.
And you saw a lot of horses maybe bouncing or slipping their hind end when they went to leave the barrel. So that is, you know, pretty big in barrel racing when, you know, it makes it a little bit
It
difficult.
is, yeah, especially when there's, what, $20,000 on the line?
That's right, yes. But you know, like I said, I do feel like they kind of work the ground and mix that sand in a little bit. And, you know, the one thing about it is that we were all running on the same ground.
Right.
So it was bad for the first girl, and it was
Sure.
bad for the 15th girl.
That's the way I've always thought, too. You know, if you're in a golf tournament and it's windy or something, everybody has to play in that wind, or,
That's
or
right.
when the dirt's tough. Eventually, you just got to go out and run barrels,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of deal.
Part of rodeo.
Sure, absolutely. Tell us, is there anybody coming up that that you always try to, you know, watch, or, you know, or a horse or anything like that you kind of keep your eye on? Everybody's watching you. Is there anybody you've kind of got picked out that you're watching, or their horse?
Oh, I mean, there's so many that are coming up,
Right.
and, you know, so many young girls
Sure.
that, you know, have great horses, and they have that desire and want to be here. And so I don't think you can ever count anybody out.
Right.
I do think that barrel racing's getting tougher and tougher. And as far as here, I think there's, you know, 14 other girls that, you know, are really tough, and it's anybody's game.
Yeah, sure.
There's so much money here to be won.
Right. When you're coming around that third barrel, is there a clock? Can you see a clock, you know, when you're going out the alley or anything like that?
I think so. I don't look for a clock
Right.
because I'm worried about staying in the
Sure.
middle and getting out of the ring.
Right, getting out of there safely, I'm sure. I didn't know if you ever come around and you're thinking, we have a chance to win this round right here. I didn't know if you'd be able to tell. I mean, can you kind of tell a gut feeling or anything that, you know?
Well, you know, if you've had a good run or
Right,
not,
sure.
you know, and that's basically my goal is
Yeah.
to do my job the best I can and give my horse the best opportunity. And, you know, hopefully she's running fast. And so really the crowd helps
They'll let you know, huh?
Yes, they will let you
I'll
know.
be darned.
And, you know, when you run out the alleyway, they've seen the time. And so, you know, by their reaction, how good it was.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I our interview and you being here today on the stage is brought to you by Resistol. Talk about those folks real quick for us.
Oh yeah, the Resistol people, are so good to me, and we've started a Sherry Cervi collection with kind of more Western tops, and that's really exciting to me, and trying to promote that and get that out there. But I've worn a Resistol hat my whole life.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. I think most of us have.
Yes.
It's a staple. As far
Absolutely.
as hats go. Miss Sherry, I know you're busy. I'm going to let you get back to it. We are honored that you're here with us, and you're welcome back here anytime. So, ladies and gentlemen, how about a hand for 4-time world champ Miss Sherry Cervi?